want to start with the starting. कि शुरू से हमें पता है कि you माशाल्लाह went to a convent school. Convent schools, of course, are known for their very high discipline. So I wanted to start there. Tell us how your upbringing and schooling set you up for what you ended up achieving in life.
You are right. The school does have an impact on anybody's life because those are the formative years. And for me also, the school played a very important role. And I'm happy that I studied there because at that time we had nuns over there, and they would always tell us that being a woman is actually a very big thing. So being a lady, we should be happy about it, and that is how I'm happy about being a female. And then they would tell us what females do and how the female should be sitting or walking or talking. And she said, you can't be you are expected to be sophisticated, you are expected to be graceful, and that is how you should carry yourself being a female. So I will tell you a small story. When I was a lieutenant colonel, so there was some job to be done, and we did it, and we were a big team of so many men, and I was the single female there, usually I was. So we were working, and the next day another colonel, a senior colonel came from the higher headquarters, and he said to my commandant, who was a brigadier there, and he said that you have only one man in your team, and that is Colonel Nigar. So I couldn't say anything at that time. But the next day I called him and I said, this was very wrong of you to say that. And he said, why? I complimented you. And I said, I know, that is not a compliment for me. I'm happy being a female, and I'm proud to be a female, and that was because of the school grooming.
Yes.
That we were taught that being a female is a good thing. You don't have to be a girl.
So he should have said, you're the only woman on the team, and that's why things worked out. Yep, for sure. I wanted to say a little bit about your upbringing, and I asked this because I know there are many folks in the audience, men and women, who have children who are in school or maybe teenagers. Do you have some tips and some advice on, how do you make your kids be well disciplined and be able to really live through the rigors of life and be resilient like yourself?
I feel we at times as parents are quite unfair to the children, not even realizing what we are doing. So I'm saying that because, of course, we all know that we have to give them time and we have to give them attention and everything else. But I feel that the children, they learn what they live. So whatever they see, they learn it, and that becomes part of their personality. So from a very young age, when I see mothers, they don't want their child to go out, and they don't want the child to go out because they are scared that he might hurt himself or something might happen to him. So rather than telling him what is the actual issue, they would tell him, don't go out, there's a bow there. And what is a bow? I can't understand that. So why they have to lie to their children or tell them the wrong things? Why can we explain what is actually in our hearts? And that is how the children would learn. So that the trait starts from there. If we don't want the child to play with somebody out there, we would say, wo kharab bacha hai. What is the meaning of a kharab bacha? The bacha is never kharab. So that is how we upbring our children. So I think that is where I say that the parents are being unfair. They should be more truthful to the child. They should tell them that they are fearful that he should not be going at them. So I feel the upbringing starts from there. So the parents have to, all those things you already know, that they should be giving time, but the first rule is that they should be truthful to them, and then if you want to discipline them, like you said, I believe in so many things, and then I heard a hadith somewhere, and they said that it is that for 7 years, you keep the child close to your heart and keep it to your chest, and that is what I feel, that we should keep him very, very close to us, and the child should feel the love of us and the parenting of us. But after 7 years, they say that then you have to handle him firmly. So I also believe in that then you have to set the rules, that Yes, he can have the tablet or whatever, but there has to be screen time, and you can tell him that, for example, if you tell him that you can have screen time of 2 hours, then let the child decide which 2 hours are good for him. But then you have to set certain rules, and the rules we all people ask me, what do you do? I said, I'm up my mercy. But then my mercy has boundaries.
Yes.
Then I also do things within certain boundaries. I don't go out of those boundaries. So we have to set those boundaries for the children also. So if we are doing things that they are seeing, if we are telling him all the time that baat bata do, hum ghar pe nahi hain. So what are we teaching him? So if we do the things that we want him to learn, so the children would, I think that's what upbringing is about.
So Yanika, you're basically saying that sometimes even the little white lies that we say send the wrong message to
Wrong
children.
message to the children.
And I love what you're saying, and I'm sort of thinking about our own residents and medical students, because I hear what you're saying. We need to really protect them when they're interns, but as they get older, then you need to do that. I know there are not too many residents or interns in the audience, otherwise they're going to think I've gone soft all of a sudden, which of course is not the case. Let me ask you a little bit about something more from your military experience. As leaders, we are expected to, no matter what the circumstances are, to keep our morale high, to keep the morale of everybody who are under our command or under our support. We want to make sure the morale is, going forward. So can you talk to us maybe about an incident where you had to really uplift morale, and what you would suggest to leaders here in the audience who have to lead their teams?
I feel, like you said, it is all about teamwork. And teamwork is,
ये आवाज आई जस्ट वांटेड टू आपको पीछे आवाज सही आ रही है कहीं नहीं आ रही है थोड़ा बेहतर कर सकते हैं ये माइक चेंज कर आप मेरा माइक
Am I audible now?
Better.
So I say that when we say it is a team, so then a team has to be a team, and you have to gel in the team. So I say that you have to more interact with everybody else, and the interaction by itself, the giving attention to the others, listening to them, talking to them, it definitely creates a morale effect, and they are more happy to work. But I also say that wherever you are, for like if you are in Aga Khan, so why don't you say that in Aga Khan, this is the one of the of course it is the best hospital and it's the best university, and it is like Dr. Salahuddin said, your CEO said that it is one of the universities, the 2% in the whole of the world. So then if you keep on saying these things, the people that they are there, the under command or the teammates or others, they do get motivated. And if we talk of doctors, I always tell them that being a doctor is a huge thing. The moment you step somewhere and you say that I am a doctor, the perspective of the people change. They start looking at you with more honor, and you are respected more. So I think we should be very happy that wherever we are, and if we have to motivate doctors, so that is how you motivate them. And secondly, I believe in it. So when you believe in something, then it goes down to them also. So I believe that the doctors, they are not only there because they want to have a profession and they have to earn for their family, and all that is true. But at the same time, you are doing something for the humanity. So you are doing something for the people. So, and at the same time, being a Muslim, you also think that you are being rewarded by the Allah also. You will be rewarded for that. So I feel there are so many things that when you speak to them and when you tell them that how for Aga Khan, for example, thousands and thousands of applications were there, and only limited got admission into here. So they are the lucky ones that they are here. So if you tell them things that are actually facts also, so they will be get motivated. So in the army, I always tell them it is such a huge thing that you are in army, and I believe in that.
I really love what you just said, that one great way to motivate people is to remind them of the privilege that they have and remind folks about what they've already accomplished and use that as a starting point to spring them up. So thank you for sharing that perspective. I wanted to ask you, speaking of motivation, in the movie about yourself, there is a very poignant scene, and let me just set this up. This is a scene where Major General Nigar is leading a large group in a board meeting room. And she is talking about important issues that everybody's dealing with. And please think of this moment, large boardroom and everybody in uniform, General Nigar at the head of the table, and you get a phone call. And the phone call is from the Chief of Army Staff. And can you tell us about that moment when you heard what was going to happen?
A beautiful moment. And yes, the chief called me and we had a meeting. That was Corona time, and we used to have 2 meetings every day in routine. In the morning with the administrator, that what should we be doing and where we lack and what more has to be improved. And in the afternoon at around 2 o'clock with the specialist, that what was new that they thought was there, and we were learning from our own experiences, and we were improving upon things. So at 2 o'clock, and then they would also point out deficiency which we would send in. So we were sitting.
This was a meeting of you and a bunch of consultants and specialists.
Specialists, the head of the departments of different specialities. So we were sitting together, and then when we finished the meeting, then there was a tea that was being served. So everybody was now talking here and there, and there was a kind of a shore over there, and then it was noisy, and then I received that call. PA said that the Chief of Army Staff wants to talk to you. So I said okay, and I wanted them to stop talking
Quiet
so
down
that
a little bit,
at least that I can hear the chief. So I just told them to keep quiet, and I just put my finger over my lips so that they did not. So they stopped, but immediately those were the days when everybody was thinking of the new Surgeon General that has to be in the chair.
So it was known that a new Surgeon General was going to be announced. Okay.
And they were hoping that it is me. So they just kept quiet.
And this was CMH Pindi where you were the commandant?
This was MH.
MH Pindi, okay.
Pindi. So they kept quiet, and then I said, when the chief told me that we had a meeting and we have decided that you will be the new Surgeon General, and I said, thank you. The moment I said, thank you, sir, they got it. And then there was a huge
everybody began to clap.
And I could not listen to the chief, what he's saying, because everybody was excited, and so was I also. So that was a big day for me, and I really, really am grateful to Allah for all those blessings that I have. So, a beautiful day.
I think we're going to give you another round of applause just for that. I can only imagine that moment when you received that phone call. But what you've just heard is that I guess the movie about you has a little bit of license in it. So not everything is exactly what it was.
I feel the writer has done a very good job because she investigated it. She didn't listen it from my side only. She went to my family members, she went to my in-laws, she went to my friends, she went to my colleague, and then she extracted the words that were common everywhere, and then those words were there in the movie. So I think she did a lot of research, and she did a good job.
Wow. So let me ask you, in the movie you're played by Mahira Khan, who of course is a very famous, superstar from Pakistan. And I've been told that you were only going to do the movie if a person of her caliber was going to do it. Is that true?
No, it was actually Mahira's idea. It was Mahira's and Nina's idea, the producer of the show. So they thought that they should make this drama or movie, whatever you call it, on me. So she came from Karachi to Hindi, got a permission, came in GH, came to my office, and I was leaving for something very, very important. And he said, we are going to do a drama. This will be with the permission of ISPR. We have discussed it with the ISPR. We have got the permission. But Mahira said, I want to do your part. So I also like Mahira.
Yeah.
Everybody likes her. So I also like Mahira, and I said, you want to do it? She said, yes, I want to do it. So I said, okay, you will be doing it. She said, there are so many in line, you will not let anybody else do it. I said, no, I will not let anybody else do it. So that is what happened. But later on, there were people around who said that somebody else will be doing the part, and I said, no, I have told Myra that she will be doing it. So let her do it. And I'm happy that she did it because she did a very good job.
Right.
So that was good of her.
No, and she really did. And in fact, I know I see some people, kind of smiling here because when we talked about it today, some people thought it's actually going to be her sitting in this chair versus me, and they were very excited about it. And I'm very sorry to disappoint you all.
Because she has a walima tomorrow. She not be here today.
So yes, it's her walima tomorrow, so it makes sense she can't be here today. But speaking of walima, the movie does show a wonderful relationship between yourself and, of course, your late husband, Johar Nigar. Would you like to say anything about your relationship?
Yeah. Although it was a totally arranged marriage, but I still...
Wait a minute. This is totally arranged marriage,
Totally
just like it says?
arranged. I had never seen him before. Even after it, on my nikah, I was not there. I had given permission to my father, so he went there to say yes. So I had not seen him. I had not seen a picture, and I had no idea how Johar looks or how Johar is. So my father, he came to the hostel. I was in third year, and he said, "We now it's high time. So now you can't say no."
So you were in third year.
I was in third year.
And fully arranged marriage, okay.
Yeah, and he said, now no more saying no. So we have decided that now you are to be engaged. So there are certain proposals, and we are thinking of it. My mother was also there, and I told my father that okay, go ahead and do whatever you want. So he said,
I wonder, can you hear us in the back, okay?
So okay. He said, is there somebody in the college that you want to? I reacted very badly because I
Wait
thought.
a minute. Your father asked you?
Yeah, he did.
Oh my God,
but I was really upset about it. I said,
so
why
you're
are you
upset that he
asking
asked
me?
you about that?
Yeah, and I was upset because I said, why are you asking me? I'm not in the college for this purpose. I haven't joined medical college. I joined medical college to have my education. So I was really upset, and I didn't want to talk about it again. So my father and mother, they said, okay, you relax, we are going back. We'll come tomorrow. So they came the next day. The next day they said, okay, we are not thinking anything else. We'll decide about in the proposals that are there. So what do you see in a husband? What do you want in a husband? So it was my father that who was talking again, and I said, I don't care about looks. I am not bothered about money. It's not important to me. But actually, I want somebody very intelligent who is educated and intelligent, and then at least I can have a 2-hour gupshup with somebody. So that's kind of a person that I am. And he said, okay. And then he went, and then the nikah was there, and when they came back, so then I was told that there's a person, Johar, and we have, it is him. So then after a month, I got the first picture of Johar.
A month after you had already said yes?
Yeah, a month after the nikah. So even now I don't know what is the date of my nikah because they went for a week to my village. So I don't know on which date the nikah was. They had planned the nikah. So, but however, when later on we did meet in my father's in my house. So George used to come, and then we started gupshup, and I actually liked him, but it was not after some time after marriage that actually we adjusted completely, and then there was no ending. He was more like a friend, although my mother used to say husband is not a friend, but I think husband is your best friend.
Husband is your best friend.
Yeah.
Now, you said that the main thing you cared about was gupshup and camaraderie.
Yeah, that's right.
Whereas that's very poetic and deep. The thing I took from what you just said is that if your children don't listen to you that day, go back the next day, maybe they'll listen to you.
That's true.
I think that's what the key was.
That's what they did. That's what happened. So I'm happy I had a life with Johar, and it was a beautiful life. And the best thing that I like about Johar was that he respected me. He gave me all the respect that a person should be giving to the other partner. So when he was giving me so much respect, so actually I was giving him double the respect. So we had fights. That was not that there was no fight, but the respect was always there.
So what you just said is so important. Respect begets respect. That you respected him and he respected you back. Now, I do know, and this is very apparent to many people, that he was a big supporter of yours.
Yeah.
Maybe, and there are probably more men in the audience. Can you give people like me advice on, how do we become better supporters of women in the workplace? Not only our spouses and relatives, but also the people we work with on a daily basis. How can men be better allies to women?
No, the first thing is that you need to respect them. So if you respect them, they're going to respect you. And secondly, at least the women around you, whether they are their wife or your sister or your daughter, whoever she is, you have to have her confidence. Let her do something what she wants to do. And if I say, to me, women empowerment is nothing but the power to decide for at least for her own self. You should give her that liberty to at least choose her education, in which field she wants to, and how much she wants to study, and if she wants to pursue a career or a job, and how much, and even if she wants to marry somebody, when Islam is giving that liberty to her, why do we stop her? So I think we should be empowering our women and giving them confidence that yes, they can do it. So we are all the time doing differently. So similarly, if there is so many things that have to be corrected, but at least I'm happy that things are happening and people are letting the women there. I see so many women sitting here, so that's also approved. But although when you go to the villages and to the remote areas, the women are at the back. There is a lot of discrimination, and we have to set things right. So if I talk of that discrimination, we start from the females also discriminate because they are more interested in a son and less in their daughters. So I feel the females also have to learn to give the space to the other females.
So you're saying that both men and women have to support. Now, I'll tell you just 2 points. We had a whole series of people who actually wrote questions down, and that's what I was looking at. But before I get to the next question, I do want to make a point of what you said about role modeling. We're very grateful at the Aga Khan University that more than 50% of our leadership is actually women, or identify as women. And compare that to, the health sector, it's about 15% of women, 15% of the people who are managers and above are women in the health sector. But at Aga Khan, it's 50%, and I want to give that a round of applause to that point. But coming to the little bit, I only have time for 2 or 3 more questions. So I want to ask you, what do you predict? I mean, you have a public health degree as well, and of course you as Surgeon General, led a very large, substantial force for medicine. Where do you think health tech is going? And what might be some predictions that you have of what we should be doing to incorporate technology in healthcare every day?
There's no doubt that health technology is required, and it is going sky high, and we need it. It is the need of the hour. And even if I talk of health communication, we were on the letters, and then the emails, and then the messaging, and then the virtual interactions. We went to the video conferencing and telemedicine, and I feel that there's time that we will go for teleportation. So
teleportation.
So I hope that it happens soon, and it is easier. Things will be much more easier. Maybe I'm teleported to my village in a minute, and I can do something over there and then come back the next minute. So the sky is the limit. I feel, even I say the sky is not the limit.
Sky is not the limit.
So in health tech, of course, we need so many things, and the younger generation that is very strong on the health technology side, and I hope that there are people from Pakistan that they invent new things and many things, and we go ahead.
Well, that's wonderful to hear your suggestions on where health tech is going. I want to ask you just 1 or 2 more things, and this is specifically regarding the sort of public-private partnerships. I'll tell you that we are now working on creating evidence-based guidelines for all of Pakistan. And one of the group that we're working with, and of course, is the Armed Forces Postgraduate Medical Institute. And we're grateful that we have had visits from General Fayaz and other Major General Sohail Sabit and others here at ATU for that. Can you talk about how civilians can partner with the military institutions to advance healthcare or advance education?
Thank you very much that you are actually doing the collaborations with the FPGMI. And I think why this divide in the army and the civil? There's no divide. In our house, if one person is in military, 5 others are in civil sector. So there is no divide in the houses. So why we have this divide anywhere else? Especially why the divide in the health professional sector? This should be done. And I actually believe that there are so many things that we learn from you, and there are so many things that you can learn from us. So we have, in collaboration, there's a win-win situation. So, for example, we were doing the liver transplants with a Chinese team who would come to us in MS every 2 months, and we would align cases and they would do it and go back. But then came COVID, so they were not permitted to come to any other country. They were not permitted to go out of China. So we didn't have the liver transplant stop. But then what did we do? We collaborated with the civil because the Shafa hospital that was doing a good job in liver transplant, then Gambit hospital, and then PKLI. So I sent my 2 surgeons to Shafa for 1 year so that they are trained in liver transplant and they become independent. And at the same time, we collaborated with Dr. Faisal from PKLI, who would come on the weekend to his home, which was in Islamabad. He would collaborate with us, do a surgery, and then go back. So then the team was prepared. So there we learn from you all the time. And similarly, if I talk of Aga Khan University, I thought, as a Surgeon General, I thought I would increase the number of the nurses or the nursing cadets in my 6-7 nursing colleges that we have. But then there was a limitation because we needed MSN nursing, the MSc nurses and the PhD nurses, and we were short of them. So I thought, why don't we train them? So then they said that you can't train them if you don't have a PhD nurses. You need PhD nurses to train the MSN nurses, and then MSN nurses can train the cadets. So then I sent 2 of my nurses here. They did PhD from here and 2 for the MSN. And now we have a class running over there in FPGMI for the MSN, and 30 are being trained. So this is how you collaborate. You learn from us and we learn from you.
MashaAllah, that's wonderful. I mean, and I just want to acknowledge our Dean of the School of Nursing is sitting right there, Dr. Tehzeen Ali. She also has a PhD, MashaAllah. And another important thing to note is just yesterday, they celebrated the 20th anniversary of the MSCN program. So, MashaAllah, we've been doing this for a long time, and we're so grateful that you chose us to send your...
You are the best. There's no doubt about it. And so
we can quote you on that we're the best? All right, Dr. Tehzeen, there you go. You can quote her. You can definitely quote her on that. Right. Now, I know we are getting some signals that I'm supposed to keep it to 30 minutes, and I know I'm going to just get to the last question. So here's the last thing we're going to ask you. And I know it's a little bit of a hypothetical, and that is, if you were not in the military, and we just saw that your entire life was built for the military, with the military, then what profession would you have done?
That's a tricky question. I say that it's a tricky question because I never thought about it. I always wanted to be a doctor, and I always wanted to be in the military. And in the military because my father was in military, but I always wanted to be a doctor. So I am a doctor and I am in the military, so I never thought about any other profession. But yes, if I had to choose a profession other than being a doctor, then I would have chosen a profession in which there is an interaction with the people, because that is what I love. I love my profession because I interact with people. I kind of help them out. So helping out was always a passion with me. And like the Sidra was saying that why should a mother die during a childbirth? So such like things and such like statements, they actually, they go straight into my heart. That yes, why we have the poorest maternal mortality rate in the world? Why the poorest neonatal mortality rate in the world? So when we talk of big things, we are not thinking of those things. So still I will be working somewhere with the people, in the people. That's what I like. So that profession will be good.
So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to say thank you so much for this. And you just saw even from the last question that if General Nigar was not in the military or a doctor, she would be somewhere serving the people. And we're so grateful for such a role model. So thank you so much for being here today. Thank you. Thank you very much.